Ladies and gentlemen, we have new footage of the Skinny Bob, right? The fabled Skinny Bob video from 2011, the series that got released. New footage has surfaced online and loads of people are basically having a meltdown over it, saying that this is real authentic footage of a actual extraterrestrial that's been released, right? So I've been looking into this. There's a few things that I want to point out and kind of bring across and show to you guys, and then I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on the situation, because there's a few things that don't quite add up. But for those of you that don't know who Skinny Bob actually is, let me introduce to you Skinny Bob so you guys can get up to speed, and then we'll watch the footage together for the first time, and then we'll pull it apart and see if there's anything strange that we can kind of correlate from both pieces of footage and bring together, right? You hear me? Let's do it. In April and May of 2011, an anonymous YouTube account called Ivan0135 suddenly appeared and uploaded 4 short videos. The channel was created the same day as the first upload, and the uploader claimed to be Russian, born in 1969, and said the material was a leaked classified Soviet KGB footage recorded between 1942 and 1969. The first video dropped on April 14th, 2011, and it showed a mixture of things: a house with a strange object hovering behind it, aerial shots of a disc-shaped craft, a crash site, and what looked like recovered bodies. Then, on May 2nd, 2011, the second video went up. This was the one that changed everything, and it opens with an on-screen text explaining that these are sample fragments from a larger collection of 7 videotapes, totaling over 1,200 minutes of material documenting UFO incidents, recoveries, and the study of extraterrestrial biological entities, or EBEs. The beings were said to be from Zeta Reticuli. And then we meet him, a tall, slender grey figure, later named Skinny Bob by the internet. He's standing, he blinks, his head turns slightly, and you can see subtle breathing-like movements in the chest. And at one point he's being measured with what looks like to be a height stick or a caliper, and the lighting is soft and consistent. The skin texture has a strange, almost translucent quality, but for 2011, the animation, if this is what it is, was remarkably smooth. Or it could be authentic. Now, 2 or more videos followed on May 9th with a close-up of a 4-fingered handprint, and the final one on May 18th, a short colour clip often called the family vacation footage, so it's a bit strange. But it shows multiple similar beings walking together outdoors, and then basically silence. Now, Ivan0135 never uploaded anything else and never gave interviews, and he never claimed credit, and basically never tried to monetize it either, and the channel's just been sat here with these 4 videos and nothing else. Now, in an age where people will stage elaborate hoaxes just for a few thousand views on YouTube or Reddit, the person or team behind Skinny Bob dropped what may consider to be the most convincing grey footage of the internet age, and then completely disappeared. No victory lap, no gotcha moment, or real behind the scenes of nothing, so it still remains a big mystery. And even a few years later, there was a $30,000 reward offered for anyone that could come forward about the original material or definitive proof of who made it, and it went unclaimed. So this is the first video that was released 2 months ago, so let's watch this and we'll just go through them bit by bit. There's only some strange film noises in the background, so I might talk as we kind of watch this and pick apart things, mate. So let's have a look. Source anonymity is maintained. So much like the original Skinny Bob videos, it still has the same type of file names, these kind of drop down sections. There's the information displayed on the videos are pretty similar to the original Skinny Bob. Oi, egg-shaped craft. Interesting. Which kind of looks similar. There's a Soviet uniform there. You can see the stars on his shoulder. But it's like the original egg-shaped craft that was seen in the first video of the Ivan ones that were released, where it was like this strange egg-shaped object which was over by a house or something. It's like outside the wing of obviously some sort of military aircraft. But it's like the frame rate seems quite high and clear. Like the videos look a bit clearer to the previous videos we've seen. If these are the same film footages or pieces of footage. There's also a propellered aircraft here as well, the same egg. Interesting. Now this video is nicknamed ET Crew Recovery Site D. Right, and this one was also released a few months ago. Some strange pieces of footage, and again the same sort of format to the original Skinny Bob, mate. Alright, information. Again, like there was this kind of like film footage sound effect in the background. It's quite loud, so I've just muted it. There's no other audio present. There's like an egg, a downed object. But compared to the original Skinny Bob footage, this just looks higher frame rate, but on like a older camera, which is a little bit weird. There's another body. Oh, wow, look at that! Okay, that is much higher definition to Skinny Bob from the get-go. Dude's got blood on his mouth. He's got like a cloudy eye. Like obviously a corpse of some kind. Oh, mate. I mean, he looks kind of annoyed. I mean, if bro's just been shot out the sky and had a camera shoved in his face, I'd be kind of annoyed too. But this is the thing, you just don't know. In the age of AI, like, and this is now being released, like, could this be AI rendition? Is this part of the point that they've released AI to make you think that everything's fake when there's actually real information put in there? But then Skinny Bob videos that were released originally in 2011 is very high tech, and a lot of budget's gone into that by the looks of it to be created for that time period. It's a bit strange. Let's go to the next one. Now, this one's called Interior Walkthrough and Examination 8mm Disclosure UFO Footage or something, right? So this one was released 6 days ago, after 2 months of nothing, and then we have this. So, from what I can gather, this might be something to do with the actual internals of said craft. And again, we've got lights. It's pretty dark. You can't really see much else. It's just a variation of, like, what the footage looks like. What is that, an egg-shaped craft? So they're shining a light on it. Is this inside something, which looks like inside the craft as well? Some strange hieroglyphic-looking things. It's like almost like a petroglyphy type carvings on there as well. Is that on the side of the egg? Or is that a panel? It's kind of hard to make out what anything is. That's an interior of sorts. But even when they're shining the light, it's not even kind of like glowing the area that much. Like whatever the objects they're highlighting. I mean, it looks a little bit like what Bob Lazar's described in the past with the interiors a little bit. So whether the person that's made this has researched Bob Lazar's descriptions or this is something genuine. Weird. It's massive interior. So are they outside and then when they're walking inside, is it larger? Because in my own personal experiences and visitations that I've had in the past, this seems to be the case. Just from my own personal observations. Again, he's shining the light and it's like absorbing a lot of light by the looks of it. It's blacker, like Vanta black almost. It's just not much reflection coming off it. It's like smoking. Again, it just... Oh, look at the 4 fingers on that dude. He's got nice, pretty nails. I like to see he looks after himself. Or themself, or they-self, whatever they may be. So, large 4 fingers. So, yeah. It's got a big gap between. I don't know, man. Right, initial observations. Compared to the original Skinny Bob footage of Ivan and then this newer footage... The frame rates, the quality seems very different, and it almost seems like from the get-go, like, I don't know, it's like Skinny Bob looks a little bit animated in my opinion versus this newer stuff which kind of looks like high definition. But if it was the same tapes or footage which are being recorded like you can see here, wouldn't the quality be the same? If you kind of get what I mean? It looks different from the original source footages. Right, so let's look at the footage a bit closer, and then I also noticed a few things to do with the Soviet officers' uniforms and maybe some reflections as well. They look a bit strange, so let's dig into it. So there's this point here that kind of caught my eye. We have the Russian language at the start, and I mean the egg-shaped UFO. Now there's a point with the officer himself, which looks like a Soviet officer of sorts. Right, he's got a ranking of lieutenant or maybe something close to that, but his shoulder does a weird thing. Right, watch this. What is going on there? Why did bro morph like Play-Doh? So let me just look a little bit closer and then we can just play this back. Right, let's observe Mr. Play-Doh Man. What is going on there? It morphs in real time. Like, something happens. To me, this screams like AI. Like, it turns into this weird suit-like thing into the officer's uniform. Unless this dude is a shapeshifter hanging out the side of the window. Look at this. Look, boom. What is that about? And one more time for the ladies in the back. Okay, let's just check again. Look, what is happening? It kind of just, I don't know. It morphs. It don't sit right with me. This bit is very strange. Now, in this next clip is the reflection from the aircraft itself, okay? Initially, I thought this could have been like a KC-130, but as you guys have just seen there, apparently this is from about 1961, and the KC-130 was actually produced, I guess, on a mass scale in 1962 by Lockheed Martin. There were prototypes before, so if this is a Russian vessel versus a American vessel, I don't know, maybe there could have been a joint operation. It could have been a Hercules, a C-130, but then the one that kind of closely matches the description of this aircraft is a Antonov AN-12 Cub, right? It looks pretty similar, the layout, and what I would guess for that time period as well, because it sits right on that line of when it was in use in the Soviet forces, right? Now, if we are going to say that this is either a Hercules, an AN-12 Cub, or even a KC-130, look at the reflection of the object, right? It's looking more like some sort of Chinook, like a helicopter, reflecting off the object itself close to the aircraft. It doesn't make sense, and there's a few things that just don't seem to be matching up reflection wise to the environment versus the actual aircraft itself. It feels a little bit strange. Now, in true interstellar fashion, I started digging around, you know, getting my grubby little mitts in places where I shouldn't have been. Now, I found him on Twitter, or them on Twitter, the qtecqot account, which is associated with this video footage, right? Now, from the get-go, Matt's following him as well, so big up to Matt. Go check him out. Give him a follow. He says in a tweet, "I am not Ivan0135, which is the original poster of the Skinny Bob footage. I have not met with him/her, but I have been in intermittent contact through electronic means as circumstances dictated. No contact since April of 2026. I am of Eastern European descent, but fluent in English. I am not suicidal. DMS in use, unlike 0135. Clarification, DMS equals dead man's switch." Right, which is very, very interesting. So they are in talks and they know of one another. So maybe if this is real, they are in the same program and had access to the same data or the same disclosure release, right? So then I had to go into the about section of this account's YouTube profile. He says he's of Middle Eastern descent, but then also it says here that it is based in the United States. So this is Soviet military footage of the 1960s, 1940s and 1960s onwards. They have the information, video footage, but they're based in the United States posting this footage. Granted, they could use a VPN, which is a little bit strange. Now, if we go to Ivan's account on YouTube, it's a little bit different to see where he's actually from. So let's check Ivan's about footage as well, right? Now, Ivan doesn't have any about footage about his actual location, but he has referenced that he is of Russian descent in his original about on YouTube. When he had his description, his YouTube name, he says he's of Russian descent or he is in Russia. But here we don't have anything there, and there's no activity since really 2011s onwards, right? So I'm not too sure what to think about this, guys. On the newer footage, given the state of new age AI and the capabilities, it wouldn't be a far stretch with the things that we've seen that someone's AI generated footage extensively edited it, right, and put filters over it as well, because the filters hide a lot of clue details. Now, with both pieces of footage of the Skinny Bob stuff and the New Age stuff, right, put side by side, they look wildly different as well. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is more AI fakery in modern day. And I know a lot of people probably will push back and say, no, this is genuine XYZ, which is fair enough. You know, this is just my opinions and my observations. But if Skinny Bob is legit as it is and people make out, and yes, no one still claims to make it, could this footage be put out there to kind of muddy the waters, if you say, you know, because there's a lot of disinformation agents and disinfo being fired out into the topic at the moment. Now, it wouldn't be a far stretch to think that there could be someone else trying to muddy the waters of the actual data that's being given. So, and it's like the modern day Richard Doty's, the information we're given, there's a little bit of truth and lots of fake stuff. And if you're looking at the whistleblowers and people like Luazondo and the gang around them lot, there's a lot of distrust and things that you can't take for gospel, if you will, right? So, I don't know what to think. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts, and you guys let me know what you're seeing and what you're thinking. But to me, I've never really kind of been fully convinced by the Skinny Bob stuff. Lots of people are, but I'm on the fence. But even more so with this newer footage, I'm gonna scream this is AI. Someone's LARPing, if you will. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But guys, again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want some more. And I'll keep you updated with the Bob saga, mate. So yeah, peace.